Hello friends, welcome to the program Teaching and Teacher in Higher Education of ARPIT under the National Resource Center of Savitribai Phule Pune University, Pune. This is the first module. In this module we will see the overview of higher education, as you and me are a part and parcel of higher education. Then what type of duties and responsibilities we have to shoulder during performing our duties in the higher education sector as a teacher, as a counselor, as a mentor of a students, and creating a excellent human resources for establishing a equal society, social justice, and boosting the economy of our nation. And through the higher education, the main aim of every country, it may be a developed country or it may be a developing country, the main aim of higher education is to boost the economy, and to boost the economy, to develop the economy, the brains will be utilized, the human skilled people will be utilized, they will contribute in this line, and the wealth is created through creating the knowledge or applying the knowledge. We will see in detail all these things. Then at that time, only transferring the knowledge into the classroom regarding my own subject is the main responsibility which we are feeling that we have to do. Holistically, when we see as a teacher of higher education, we have to see the overall development of the young student, so that he will be a responsible citizen of our nation who will really contribute into the economic development and establish the social justice into the society. Friends, regarding this, we will see what is the scenario or what is the status of higher education today in our nation. If you see the education system, higher education system of the world, this Indian higher education system is the second largest education system. And we have a larger stock of young human power. And that is why when we create a human powers or human resources which will be really learned, having a higher education knowledge, the first benefit will be to our own country, that we will be a self-reliance in human power which we need to develop this nation. Second thing, what will happen if we have whatever may be the available largest stock of higher education, as we know that we have a young population in that. If we convert this young population into an expert, then automatically by providing a higher education, we will export of human power to the other countries. And we know that there are so many people who had taken higher education here, expertise in skills and knowledge in a specific subject, and they are contributing in a US, in Silicon Valleys, and in Gulf, in Australia and other developing countries. That means we are one of the best brain exporters. But the question is that whether really world needs what type of the human resources, which level. Also our country needs what type of human resources in a different sectors, whether our higher education system is producing that human power which will be needed to the world or our nation. That is the one of the important aspect that higher education sector of India is taking care. Another thing is that democratization, opportunity to everyone for equal representation and grow, it is established to the higher education. All the universities, if you see the setup, the structure of the universities, and through that what type of leaders we have produced, they are taking care of our nation by leading them, by contributing into administration, by contributing as a expert into the different engineering sectors, technical sectors, in social sciences sectors, in economic sectors, and due to that we are empowering our democracy of this nation. And we have a very selected, in the selected area, expertise area, where this our higher education, IITs and university specialization courses are producing this type of human powers which will really, when they are in serving the nation, serving this global, they are creating a miracle. Even though we have a diversity, as India is a subcontinental country, the language diversity and the intellectual diversities, and we have to give the opportunity to everyone in that line, so that inclusive growth of this nation will be realized. And for that purpose, our higher education policies are really in a right direction. And as a responsible teacher of the higher education sector of our nation, how to convert this diversity into an asset. And for that purpose, you and me has to take the care as a part and parcel of higher education, and in that line, the right direction our higher education is moving. That is the thing. And friends, along with this, we have some challenges also. Now the expansion of higher education, the raising the number of higher education takers, institutions of higher education including universities, colleges and other institutions has been raised. Now the question is that to improve the quality of higher education institute, even though the NAC is taking care of only the assessing the quality, but improving the quality of each and every, that is why the government has initiated an excellent scheme, the NISTA, which will really taking care of a cluster wise improvement of quality in higher education. Expectation is that through the higher education, everybody who is seeking or want to acquire a higher education, he should get a quality higher education. Another thing is that inequalities are available in different sectors of the society, and how to overcome this inequality is one of the challenge over in front of the higher education system. That you and as a teacher, as an expert in a subject, over and above that, we have to see the challenges of higher education. It may be conducted research, or by coming together, we will find out the solution to it. Different schemes government also initiating to finish the inequalities in the higher education. Another aspect of challenging in higher education is the in education. How many libraries are available? How many institutions having a top class, excellent quality teachers? Then by using the technology, releasing the expert teachers, lectures, availing them guidance, then on the online digital libraries, and by this way the learning material will be available to all the needy. And inequity of the higher education, right from the books to the good quality of delivery in the classroom, has to overcome. This is also the one thing we have to taken care in higher education. See, democracy and political stability, when we have a learned brains, they contribute in a different way, so they take the different approaches, and everybody will enjoy the benefits of democracy, strengthening the democracy of this nation, so that everybody or members of all the sections of the society will get the equal opportunity to represent themselves in the policy making, in the nation development. That is the one of the important aspect. Then we will see the aspect regarding the reform in higher education. Actually, in 1857, the higher education was introduced, formal higher education. Before that, in ancient India, we also created knowledge. The interesting thing regarding the reform in higher education, we have to see the changing scenario in the higher education. What are the expectations in the 21st century, or after the 2 decades about to be finished? we are expecting that we have to rapidly develop our economy to become a third economy of the globe from the 7th position. And for that purpose, we need to change the frame of total approach of higher education, so that economic achievement will be achieved in few decades. And to overcome the global challenges, that also one of the reform we have to make in our curricula, design, restructuring, governance of higher education, because the globalization and internationalization is one of the factors, or some of the factors which are really influencing the higher education of our nation, and according to that we have to modify our higher education. Also regarding the why we need a reform, in that line we can see that sustainable high level human development we will need, which will be not that the for a temporary one, which will be permanently there. They will change the society, they will change the economy, and in that line we need a human resources which will really change it. And for that purpose we have to change the structure of higher education approaches, even some new sectors we have to get. And in that line we are also experiencing the robotic engineering, the artificial intelligence, and data analysis and big data analysis and all these things. These new sectors are coming very fastly in the higher education arena, and traditional courses are becoming more and more less demanding, but the new are coming. But here we have to see in visualize in the future that what type of new areas are coming, and regarding that what type of services we have to provide in higher education, what type of delivery mode, distance or online or another technology to be introduced in higher education system, so that we can cover up or we can give the scope to the more and more people in higher education which are seeking higher education or expecting to join higher education. Another thing is that the building an equitable systems of education, promising that opportunities for all. We have to give the promise, we have to give the guarantee to everyone that you will get a opportunity to have a higher education in which area you are interested. And for that purpose, the existing system is not enough. Then we have to change the higher education, and in that line also reform are expected. And as a teacher of higher education, you should be aware of that. What are the expectations are coming? What are the challenges in front of us? And regarding that, then what type of reform or modification the policy makers are making, and according to that, in what sense we can give suggestions to policy makers to know them the ground reality. You are working in the classroom, what is the classroom reality and what the policy makers are doing regarding that. And for that purpose we should know in which area the challenges are there, and regarding that what type of modification or reform in higher education will be needed, and that is why we are discussing here. Also the some areas like the transforming our society as a knowledge consumer society to a knowledge creator society, that is also one of the challenge. Somebody are see in just now we refer a lot of books from other countries authors. Why not we can create our own knowledge. We have a traditional knowledge, a very enriched traditional knowledge. Also we can create a our own life related knowledge in the particular subject, and we will become a knowledge creator instead of only the knowledge consumer. And more important, that what to do with this knowledge. There should be a approach in higher education to create wealth through the higher education. which will be utilized to boost the economy of our nation, then only delivery of knowledge is not enough. Reciting that knowledge into the examination and giving them marks and assessing them and knowledge level is not enough. The application of knowledge to create wealth is also to be made a essential part of higher education. And after creating the wealth, what we need to do? Establish a peace in the globe. Establish a sustainable development in the globe so that everybody will get the equal justice. The conflict management will be managed very properly, and the wealth will be distributed with a very proper way so that everybody can enjoy their life and improve scope of development to them. And by this way, the peace will be established. And higher education, only the sector by which, by studying, by contributing, by sharing, by collaborating, can do this.